Imagine getting a promotion at work. You get a 5% raise. On paper, you are making more money than you ever have in your entire life. You should feel successful, right? But then you go out into the world, and suddenly you realize you actually feel poorer than before. You notice it first at the grocery store, watching the scanner ring up basic staples at prices that seem completely disconnected from your new salary. You feel it again when you fill up your car, watching the pump hit $4 a gallon for regular gas. And then you open your mail to find massive spikes in your basic household electric, gas, and water bills. Economists call this specific experience the illusion of the raise. Even though your gross income went up, your actual purchasing power, the amount of goods and services your money can actually buy, is aggressively shrinking. You aren't imagining this squeeze. The mathematical equation that built the American middle-class dream simply no longer balances. To understand what is happening, we have to look at the household ledger. It's a simple calculation: what you earn versus the absolute non-negotiable expenses you must pay to survive. Mainstream economic headlines frequently point to the dropping prices of consumer goods, like flat-screen televisions and electronics, to claim the economy is doing well. This chart shows exactly where that logic falls apart. While the price of technology drifts down on the left side, the cost of absolute necessities on the right, rent, childcare, and healthcare, has shot up aggressively. This divergence is caused by an economic mechanism known as a one-sided transmission. The top 10%, specialized tech and finance professionals, have seen massive income growth. By paying more for local services, they drive up the baseline prices for essentials. Yet the median worker, without a comparable pay bump, is forced to pay those exact same prices. By tying baseline survival costs to top earner salaries, standard expenses function like luxury goods, trapping average earners in a monthly deficit. If there's one primary way to escape that deficit and build lasting wealth, it's homeownership. It is the absolute foundation of middle-class stability. However, recent monetary policy decisions from the Federal Reserve to aggressively hike interest rates have effectively closed that door. Analysts call this specific gridlock the interest rate trap. Take a standard $400,000 home. A few years ago, a 3% interest rate meant your monthly payment was roughly $1,680. Today, with current rates, that exact same house costs closer to $2,600 a month. It is a perfect double trap. Current homeowners cannot afford to sell and lose their low rates, completely restricting housing inventory, while new buyers are mathematically priced out of entering the market entirely. A defining feature of the traditional middle class was having a financial buffer to absorb unexpected emergencies without going into debt. This chart shows exactly where that buffer went. According to recent data, nearly 3/4 of American workers report they now struggle to afford anything beyond their basic living expenses. Without that crucial extra margin to save or invest for the future, the dream of upward financial mobility simply stops completely. And the pressure is coming from multiple directions at once. Sweeping international tariff policies, intended to protect domestic manufacturing, mean higher costs for basic goods are passed directly down to you at the register. At the exact same time, the rapid deployment of artificial intelligence is threatening the job stability and wage premium of specialized white-collar fields. These global forces and domestic policies are colliding in real time. The economic trap isn't loosening, it is actively tightening its grip. If you are skipping vacations or struggling to cover your healthcare premiums, it is not because you failed at individual budgeting. Instead, your current financial reality is simply the predictable mathematical outcome of decades of top-down macroeconomic policy choices. The middle class is the engine that drives the American economy, and it simply cannot function under this amount of concentrated pressure. I want to hear your perspective on this. Are you feeling this exact squeeze where you live? Let's talk about it in the comments below.